don't do road test within the showroom or within 100 meters. If it is a road test for a vehicle you love, you need to do a serious road test and ensure that the person selling that vehicle to you agrees to a serious road drive. Okay, do at least 50 kilometers, because some of the dashboard lights, like check engine, maybe the gearbox lighting, some of them can be deleted once you remove the battery. Okay, they get deleted from the dashboard, but they don't just return when you drive 5 kilometers or 100 meters. You need to drive at least 50 kilometers for those dashboard lights to start showing again on the dashboard once they have been deleted through removing the battery. So hello guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel. In today's video, we are going to highlight some of the most critical aspects that you must ensure you do when you are buying a vehicle that has been used locally. In my last video, we discussed several due diligence points that you should check if you are buying a foreign used vehicle from a local dealer. But today we are discussing about due diligence or quality checkpoints when you are buying a vehicle that has been used locally, whether that vehicle is being sold by a dealer, whether it is being sold by the individual owner, or whether it is being sold by an intermediary or a broker. And you know, guys, there are so many places where you can buy second-hand vehicles in Kenya that have been used locally. For example, I always refer people to go along Gong Road on Sunday on Jamhuri ground. You can go to, this road in Gara. It's called the Desai Road before you get to Globe Roundabout. When you are coming from Muranga Road, if you turn left, there is a road called Desai Road, and it is packed with a lot of many second-hand vehicles that are on offer, that are on sale. Again, if you go along Kagudo Road, there are also so many individuals and some car yards that have been established there to sell locally used vehicles. So there are so many vehicles that are already on offer, and there are so many people in Kenya actually who have never bought an ex-Japan vehicle. They always prefer to buy locally used vehicles because to some extent they come with a lot of advantages, and the biggest advantage is cost saving, because you will find that even if right now you are buying a 2017 vehicle that has been used locally, or a 2015 or a 2016 vehicle used locally, you could save up to maybe 40 to 60% of the money you could have paid to a showroom if you are going to buy a foreign used vehicle or an ex-Japan vehicle. So if, for instance, you have around 1.5 million to 2 million, you can buy yourself a very good Forester, Subaru Forester, a Subaru Outback, maybe even a Mazda, CX-5, Honda CR-V. Those vehicles, you can get them 2016, 17, and 15, 2015, 16, and 17 vehicles with those amounts. But if you want an ex-Japan, you might need to double that amount. For instance, Subaru Forester, you might need to have around 3.5, Honda CR-V around the same amount, or 4 million, CX-5, 3.3, around there. But I'm telling you, if you buy locally, there is a great chance that you could save some money. But also, that saving of money will come also with a lot of risk, because you are not sure why people are selling these vehicles. And top of people's mind, especially buyers, will tend to think that this vehicle is being sold because it has an issue, or maybe it is disturbing the owner and they want to get rid of it. And that is the biggest challenge, that you must make sure that your due diligence and the quality inspection must prove to you that that vehicle does not have an issue. Of course, there are so many people who are offering a pre-purchase inspection. With all due respect, it's a very good service and everybody must go for it. But just inspecting the vehicle is not enough. It is also important to ensure that you get transparent communication and honest communication about the history of that vehicle by the person selling it to you. And the moment you realize that the person selling that vehicle to you is not communicating transparently about the issues of that vehicle, in as much as your pre-purchase inspector has given a green light that the vehicle is good, and there are dots that are not adding up about the history of that vehicle, then there are some red flags. And these are the things that personally I'm going to discuss with you about the transparency questions that you must make sure to ask and ensure that they are answered. Once they are answered to a level where you are satisfied and you still love the vehicle, then you can call your pre-purchase inspection specialist. Maybe, conversation like Eric Wakabi. There are so many other guys I have seen online. They are offering pre-purchase inspection. Maybe they will charge you 10,000. They will come with their machines. They will plug in and test the vehicle's response to so many things that they will test. So these are the things that you need to make sure that you ask the person selling to you the vehicle. So here we are talking about second-hand cars, okay, locally, that have been used locally in Kenya. So first of all, the most important thing you need to ask from the person selling that vehicle is whether he is the owner, okay, or selling on what we call on behalf. All right, you will find so many vehicles in showrooms today, especially the second-hand showrooms, but the reality is that some of these vehicles have been purchased by the showrooms or the yards so that they can resell and make some markups. Again, there are some people, some of these yards, they don't have the cash flow. They don't have the money to buy like 100 vehicles and put on their yards. So what happens is that if, for instance, I want to sell my car, I can just go and deposit it on the yard and tell them, try to sell this vehicle on my behalf, and then make any margins that you want, as long as you make for me the minimum price that I ask for. If I want to sell my vehicle maybe at 600K, they can go and offer whatever amount they want to offer on top of the 600, as long as when they sell, I get my 600. So first of all, ask the person selling, are you the actual owner or are you selling on behalf? If they tell you that they are selling on behalf, then ask them, okay, are they ready to introduce you to the owner? Then you pay them what they call mshahara. Mshahara is a very common word in the second-hand market used by brokers, because some brokers, sometimes they want to be very transparent. Some of them will tell you, I cannot reveal to you the price I have been given by the owner. I cannot tell you how much the owner has told me to sell. But there are others who will tell you the owner for this vehicle is asking 600,000. But I can introduce you to the owner if you pay me my mshahara. So most of them will ask for anything between 10 to 50,000, depending on the vehicle. So if they introduce you to the owner and you buy, then you will pay them the mshahara. And that for me is already a very good indicator of transparency. Don't buy a vehicle and negotiate the price and agree with a broker who has probably no history on how this vehicle has been used. And with this broker, you cannot actually advance with the further questions that I am going to give you, because a broker has zero history on the vehicle usage. Otherwise, they have so many vehicles on the yard and they cannot pretend that to know that they know everything about those vehicles. The history of the vehicles, you can only get them from the actual users. So if, assuming he's a transparent guy, and then you agree that if he introduces you to the owner, you will pay him 10K. Okay, now it means that we go now to deal with the owner. Very interesting. And that is where now you get to ask the most honest questions in the most transparent way and expect good answers from the owner. So if you get to the owner, there are two things. There are questions that you will ask literally to discover. Okay, and there are other questions that you will ask to tempt them if they will tell you the truth. Ya kuwapima, and just see if they will tell you the truth. Because some of this information, actually, you don't need to ask them, because there is a way you can directly verify. But for you to go and verify, at least you need to also see if they told you the truth before you verify. So that when you verify and find that what you find out after verifying is the same as what they told you, then the level of confidence in whatever story they are telling you when selling starts, to sink into your mind, and it starts to make sense that this is a good vehicle to pursue. So when you go to the owner, so just ask the owner, are you Are you the first owner of this vehicle? Are you the one who bought it from the showroom as the first owner, or did you import? Whatever they tell you, just note it somewhere, because once you get hold of the logbook, you'll be able to see the current owner is owner number what. Okay, so you will start to detect lies. The second most important thing, ask them, was the vehicle being used for private or for business? Okay, so I know a lot of people will tend to say, of course, this was a private vehicle. It was for my wife. My wife is a doctor. She's just used to drive and park and come back home. This is a vehicle that was for my girlfriend. I took it away from her, vile tulikosana. So many stories you will hear that. And another very upcoming story for this small vehicle. They are always saying that this was for my sister. She got a visa to the UK. She won a green card to the US, and she went. So don't believe stories just the way they are being told. I told you guys, the most important thing is to note that for a private vehicle, let me just do some rubbing here. For a private vehicle, expect anything between, let's say, to be realistic, between 10,000 kilometers to around 20,000 kilometers per year. Okay, so that is the average. How you will do the math, guys, I have taught you so many times. Then for business vehicle, normally it will do anything beyond between whatever, say 30k kilometers to even 80k kilometers per year. Okay, so depending on the year when the vehicle was imported, you can be able to just determine for how many years has that vehicle been on the Kenyan roads, and then you do this math. I told you, use the logbook, chassis number, put it into the Japan Quality Inspection website, see the mileage at the time of import, look at the dashboard, see the mileage at the current time, and then do this comparison and just verify whether the guy selling to you told you the truth. Very important thing. So the other thing that is important for you to ask, just to see if these guys are telling you the truth or lying, ask them about some basic things around the vehicle, because every time these people are selling the vehicle, they'll say it has original paint, accident free, or something like that. So ask them, has this car ever been repainted? If they tell you yes or no, you will note it. But again, there is a way to verify if a vehicle has been repainted. There are so many things that literally can tell you a repainted vehicle. The quality of paints in Kenya, we know them. I can look at it directly like this and tell you whether this car has been repainted or not. The second one, ask them, is this car accident free? Record the answer. Then so many ways to verify if a vehicle has been in an accident or not, and your pre-purchase inspection guy should be able to detect some of those things. There is a video I did telling you some of the areas you need to check to know if that vehicle has ever been into an accident. Question number 3 that you need to ask them, has a vehicle ever been repaired, especially the major components like the gearbox, the engine? Has it ever been dismounted? Gearbox imewahi funguliwa, engine imewahi funguliwa? If they tell you yes or no, just write it somewhere. Then go and verify. You can literally tell a vehicle that has been opened or not, especially in Kenya, because the kind of silicone they put in Kenya, you cannot compare it with the original manufacturer silicone that comes in the engine and the gearbox that separates the components. So record those answers. And then if so far you are still happy with the answers you are being given, the next thing you need to do is to do a road test. And I always tell people, don't do road test within the showroom or within 100 meters. If it is a road test for a vehicle you love, you need to do a serious road test and ensure that the person selling that vehicle to you agrees to a serious road drive. Okay, do at least 50 kilometers, because some of the dashboard lights, like check engine, maybe the gearbox lighting, some of them can be deleted once you remove the battery. Okay, they get deleted from the dashboard, but they don't just return when you drive 5 kilometers or 100 meters. You need to drive at least 50 kilometers for those dashboard lights to start showing again on the dashboard once they have been deleted through removing the battery. that you do sufficient road drive. Even if you want to do 100 kilometers, do that. Then see if those dashboard lights will come back on the dashboard and see if they were deleted or not. Then do uphill, scenario driving situation, several driving situations, like go drive in the mud if you want to test the 4-wheel drive and the transmission strength and resistance. Go in the uphill, carry a maximum number of passengers, and then try speeding to the maximum speed and see if it will be responsive. Okay, by doing that, you will make sure that you close all the loopholes. But also remember, if you are buying an auction vehicle, auction vehicles are being sold as they are. Okay, so there is no room to do all this stuff. It's for you to know that you know the level of risk you are taking, and you are an adult and you agree to those risks. Okay, if you are buying from an individual, a person who can allow you to do the test and other stuff, then you have to follow my procedure. But if you are buying this thing from from the auction, there is no room for you to do that. Cheers guys, and bye bye. See you in my next video.